Hey, Cancer risings and Cancer suns. So we're gonna have on the very first day of January, we're gonna have Mercury going into your seventh house of Capricorn, or into Capricorn of your seventh house. Um, so I think that with Mars, the Sun, Venus already being in Capricorn, which is the house of relationships, by the way, usually one-on-one relationships. This could be romantic, platonic, like friendships, or business partners and things like that. I think you've already have been taking some type of action. There's probably been a spotlight, some type of maybe even love interest or just more pleasantness in an already existing relationship. But Mercury has been in the sixth house of Sagittarius in December, and sixth house has to do with either health, work. It could do with self improvement or routines and things like that. Nutrition's the kind of day to day duty. Um, and I think something about that. So whether it's your health, whether it's work, your mind still has been wrapped up on that. While at the same time things are happening in relationships, your mind has been wrapped up on that. But it seems like January 1st, that's when, like, okay, now you're fully into whatever's going on in relationships, whether that's new relationships coming in or existing ones, like more work and effort being put in into this relationship. I feel like once January 1st comes, then you're more like all in on these relationships. And then on the third, there's going to be a full moon, and the full moon is going to be happening in your first house. So I think that with this full moon here, it's going to be the moon opposing the sun, which is what a full moon is going to be opposing the sun out there in Capricorn in your seventh house. So it's possible you could see some relationship tension or just a balancing act that goes on here between you and your partner, or between you and some type of, maybe like focusing on yourself and doing self-love, if you want to call it that, and uh, focus on self, but then also there's a relationship here that you also need to spend time, whether it's business partner or a romantic one, that you also got to kind of balance. Um, with Jupiter also in Cancer in your first house, it's exalted, so it's really strong here, and you can find truth and meaning here, and you've probably been doing that since summer when it went into Cancer. Um, yeah, I really see like this kind of pull between kind of yourself, maybe because the moon's here, so maybe your emotions, your feelings, like what feels right about focusing on yourself versus like the actions and things that need to be taken in your relationship. So I would look towards that, and then also keep in mind that you know the Mars in Capricorn in that seventh house is exalted as well. So it's also very strong there. And it's just, I feel like there's just going to be this really strong tension. But like, because they're both exalted, Mars in Capricorn, Jupiter in Cancer, um, because like on the 10th, these two planets are going to be exactly opposite at about 20 degrees. And the sun is going to be at 20 degrees in Cap 2. And Venus is going to be at 21 degrees, which is very close. So it's really gonna have that pull, maybe even more towards the relationship, I would think. And I would think, yeah, from around the third to even the 10th, like there's just gonna be this relationship and self kind of dynamic going on. Probably a lot that relationship focus. Whether, like I said, whether that's your romantic relationship, a business partnership, or some friendship, some close friendship. I could see that it definitely is going to be the topic of the first half of the month for sure. Um, then, like, you're going to have on the 16th, even the moon is going to go into Capricorn as well, which is your seventh house. So it's just really like that's five planets all in that seventh house. And then you just got lonely Jupiter in your first house. Um, so yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of action there. And then even the next day, you got finally Venus going into your eighth house of intimacy, deep intimacy. Like that could be sex. It also could be death. It could be assets, like usually shared assets that you share with somebody else, with a partner, usually a business partner, romantic partner. It could be debts, taxes, things like that. And Venus is going in first. So I'm thinking it's something pleasant around these topics, something of interest at least, something relational maybe because you're dealing with all this relational energy anyway. So maybe there's a sharing of assets, or a conversation that's gonna eventually need to be had about assets being that are shared. But Venus is leading the way, so it just seems like it's definitely either interest, something you're interested in, you like, or definitely, has to do with some type of relationship. And like I said, given with all those planets that were in your relationship house, it's probably relational. And Venus is leading the way. And then after the 17th, when Venus enters on the 18th, there's a new moon at 28 degrees, where where it's only about 3 degrees off from Venus, a little less. And so I think, yeah, it's about intimacy. This new moon is gonna be it's a new moon, if I didn't say that already. A new moon is a new start, and it's gonna be about relationships, some new start in relationships. So I could see this being, yeah, like either you guys are starting to share more intimacy in some sort of way, start to share assets, talk about shared assets, debts, loans, things that, like serious conversations. Um, it could even be some kind of a death related thing. Usually we don't hope for death, obviously, but oftentimes it's not death unless like it's an elderly person, and you could see certain things, but usually it's not death. That's usually like a not the common outcome. It can happen, but it's usually not the common outcome. But I definitely see like yeah, like maybe some type of shared assets, or intimacy like being had here, and it's a new start. So it's not even an ending, because a new moon is about new start. So I could see something like that happening. Yeah, I'll end up making a full moon and new moon video, so maybe I'll go more into detail on those topics there. But definitely look into those things happening around the 18th. And like I said, just I would say from the 3rd to, what was that, the 10th, 11th, 12th. Yeah, that relationship dynamic. But like I said, it seems like it's gonna be even more about this, because Venus is leading the way, where right after that new moon, then on let's see, the next day the moon, or even maybe the same day, the moon goes into Aquarius. Then on the 19th, the sun is getting closer to entering. Let's see. Yeah, it enters at about 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So then the sun, so that's like a more of a focus and spotlight on this intimacy or shared assets. Then you got Mercury entering on the 20th. So then, yeah, the mind, conversations possibly communication. And then on the 23rd, you got Mars entering Aquarius. So now there's action being had around this, like, intimacy or whatever is going on between you and maybe the partner, or it could be, like I said, taxes even. So yeah, definitely it's going to be a big focal point. And then Pluto's already there at 3 degrees. So as these planets are going in and going through, they're going to have to come into contact with Pluto at a conjunction. And so usually Pluto wants to strip you of things, or transform things, change things, which the eighth house is about naturally. And so there could be a lot of changes going on too. I would assume this going into the second half of January, because all these planets are gonna come into contact with Pluto. So yeah, definitely, like, it seems like a lot of relational energy in the beginning. Maybe even kind of balancing like time for self, and then it seems like it may get more serious, even more serious, and actions and changes are going to be had in that second half. And then on the 26th, even, you got Neptune moving into your 10th house of where Aries is, and leaving the ninth house. So maybe there are ideas, or big ideas, big dreams, and things like that. Big things going on when it came to how your beliefs, wisdom, uh, even travel, maybe foreign countries, a foreign person or people, possibly even um, if you're in like university or taking some type of classes, like a shift into your 10th house, which is the career, work, status, public life, your vocation, your goals, even how you're seen in the world. And sometimes it can represent authority figure. So maybe even a new authority figure coming into your life that has a Neptunian type of vibe to them. But either way, it looks like, yeah, like either maybe your career is like, if you do so, you're gonna be doing some type of work that has like Neptune kind of traits, where maybe spiritual, or really out there, unique, kind of, in a way, which is Uranus. But uh, yeah, maybe dreamy type of thing, or like I said, spiritual even. And you could see a change. I think, yeah, because this is going to be there for the next 14 years. And then next month in February, Saturn's going to go third too. So it looks like they're building structures, which falls in place with maybe some type of new job or work or role that you're going to be taking on. So yeah, and I'll probably make another video about Neptune and Saturn going into Aries, but definitely I'd be looking out for this. So yeah, it looks like this month for you is going to be a lot about relationships, Cancer. So definitely, maybe that's a good thing, especially if you're looking for love or anything. Yeah, definitely. Or if you're looking to strengthen a relationship with somebody that you're already interested in. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, leave me a comment. Let me know how that goes. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Good luck. See you in February.